My dear respected football fans, KlarseSport Podcast, myself, Mr. Class, and my good friend Chevy. We're going to get straight into it. Manchester Derby.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mr. Class. Pleasure to be here. I'm suffering a little bit, but it's not the coronavirus, so everyone's okay. But yeah, we had the Manchester Derby. Boy, 2-0. It was an interesting game. How did you see that one going before?
To be honest, with the build-up towards it, I never looked at it as if it would be so easy for Manchester United to just win like that. But to be honest, the impact of Bruno Fernandes has been a big, strong impact. And when I first heard that United were purchasing him, I didn't really have faith and I didn't really believe in him because I never knew much about him. But he's come and made an instant impact.
Yeah, I agree. He's come in and ignited United a bit. Have to give credit to United and their tactics. They kind of sat back a bit, soaked up the pressure, and then was hitting them on the counter. They allowed City to do what City does, pop it around, but City was popping it a lot, playing that nice football, but it weren't actually penetrative. It weren't going nowhere. Weren't really getting the ball to Aguero. So credit to United for digging deep, sticking to their system. And there was a few big battles out there, and you have to give credit to the United players on some of them.
Yeah, I'll touch on Wan-Bissaka. I think he put some good hard tackles in, and he's fearless.
Yeah, agreed. That was a big battle on the left for Sterling, Wan-Bissaka, Sterling's left and Wan-Bissaka's right, obviously right back. And I think that the way how Wan-Bissaka handled Sterling, especially in the first half, made a big difference.
Yeah, it did.
And it looked like Sterling was getting frustrated, but Wan-Bissaka, arguably up there is one of the best right backs in the league, some were saying. So I think he showed it then against arguably one of the best attackers in the league. So, give credit to Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, like us, he's from Ents, so shout out to the man still, repping it for United.
Of
but
course.
Palace born and bred and all them ones there.
Of course. So talk me through Sterling's horrendous miss.
Boy, I couldn't believe it, but it's like with Sterling, he's always got one or two of them in him. I don't know how he fluffed his lines on that one, because if he scores that one, it makes it interesting going into the last kind of 10 minutes or so. I expect him to be finishing that, but we've seen it before with Sterling. I think it was last season at Burnley, he missed a sitter and Pep just took him off. So he's got it in him, and he's also got some class goals. So it's a shame and he's never scored against United, which is crazy.
Do you know what I want to touch on as well? Do you think Pep only knows how to win looking pretty?
Yes, of course. I think that it's evident. You've never said in recent times, whilst Pep's been at the helm, Manchester City have won it ugly or played bad and won it. They're always popping it, playing pretty football, and they'll lose playing pretty football. Like yesterday, at times they were 70-30 possession for most of the game, popping around, looking very nice, but weren't really getting the ball to Aguero, weren't really getting the ball to Jesus. Their chances were limited. So yeah, I don't think they can win ugly. Don't think it's his nature. He's never really done it like won ugly when he was at Barcelona or Bayern Munich. He's never had to. So
do you feel this is something that Pep may need to add to his game and stop being ignorant towards it?
Yes, there's an argument for that, but I think he's got his philosophy now and he's not going to change. I don't think he cares because, and a lot of Pep fans would say, and the fans of Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Man City, recent times would say, no, let's not change because of the success, the trophies he's won everywhere. I think he does need to get over the line in this Champions League with City to get that accusation off his back, because he didn't do it at Bayern Munich and he hasn't done it so far at City, and everyone just said, well, he only won it at Barcelona because he had Messi and all the other players, Iniesta, Xavi and that. So would he have to win ugly to win the Champions League? Potentially. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens. But I don't think Pep fans or the fans of those clubs he's been at would worry about too much, because the fans have reaped some big success, and so has he.
Okay, interesting. Another thing I wanted to touch on is the Ollie in. Are you Ollie in or are you Ollie out?
Do you know what? That whole Ollie at the wheel thing's a bit mad. I think for stability, Ollie should be in, but to take Man United further, I think it has to be Ollie out. But there's me sitting on the fence because I think United have gone through loads of transition. Do I think there was right in giving Ollie the actual job? No. At the time, I think they should just let him do the interim thing and then just say go back to Norway, and then they should just try to secure another top manager. I don't know who that would have been, but Ollie gives them stability. But personally, I think if it wasn't Ollie and the history he's had with the club, he might have gone already.
Okay, interesting. Because me personally, I'm Ollie out all the way. But if Ollie wins the Europa League and manages to win the FA Cup, who am I to say Ollie out?
Yeah, but I can't see it though.
Yeah.
To say they're gonna do the double, like.
But let's just say, in hindsight, he did do the double.
Then yeah, Ollie in. Like
Ollie in.
You have to back him. You have to back him.
Okay.
You have to back him, and then the board has to back him. Ed Woodward has to back him. Everyone has to back him. The fans. He's already got. The thing is, it's a bit mad because the fans I think are split. They're like, Ollie, we love him, the baby-faced assassin, won us Champions League and blah blah blah. The history, the goals he scored, but then they're like, we're still doing dead football from when Fergie left. We've struggled ever since. But can Ollie bring back the glory days? No one knows right now.
Okay, my two issues that I have with this Ollie in, Ollie out thing is, number one, I don't understand why Ollie got the job and Giggs didn't get the job. I don't understand that.
Because Giggs did a madness back in the day. No, but I hear your point. Obviously, all jokes aside, I don't think Giggs had as long of a time as Ollie did in that interim phase to prove that he was the man to take it forward. And I think the only difference is Ollie had more management experience. He flopped at Cardiff.
I was just about to bring that up.
He flopped hard at Cardiff, but he's managed a team in Norway for whatever. So he's had experience to do it. Like Giggsy never really had that. So again, at the time, Giggsy just shouted out the mandem and brought it back. Class of '96 help managers thing. So he didn't really. He was just, I think, where they were at that stage. I think United wanted that stability and that experience, and that's what they went for.
My second thing that I have an issue with is I don't know, just the fact of a lot of Man United fans keep saying they want Pochettino, but to be honest, I don't look at Pochettino as a great manager at all. He's won nothing. His eye for talent is extremely poor. Let's look at the players he brought in at Tottenham. Like, fair enough, Daniel Levy, he doesn't offer a big budget of money, but the money he did provide, I don't believe Pochettino used it well. To bring in people like Janssen, that was standardly missing open goals week in, walk out. He was worse than terrible. Francis Jeffers. Yeah. He brought in defenders like Fazio that were worse than Titus Bramble.
They say Amanda.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? He brought in people like Sissoko. Like when I heard that Pochettino bought Sissoko, I remember the Newcastle fans that I spoke to. They were having a field day. They were having a party. They were happy to get rid of him. So it's like, if he was to get appointed as Manchester United manager, what is the difference between him and Ollie?
Do you know what I think? The big difference, what people were saying with Poch was he did well with an average squad. Like, he did well, consistently well. They played good football, but they had good results. Like, I think Spurs finished second under him, like, more than once. Or there was a time when they should have finished second and they just fell off and they're like, oh, we can't be bothered to, we can't win the league no more. They end up finishing third. So I believe people are like, well, especially this season when they went to Champions League, and they didn't buy no one.
Yeah.
And he took them to the Champions League final. I can't remember where they finished in the league. I think it was second or third, or it was still up there. And Champions League final. So I think the argument is, okay, if he can do that with an average squad with no financial backing, what could he do with finally getting some financial backing and some world-class players? Because the world-class players at Spurs are limited, okay, compared to the ones at United. Now, the ones at United, have they been delivering? Possibly not. But would he get them playing football? Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure Poch is the guy to take it. He's never won a trophy, But saying that, neither had Ollie before he came, but Ollie's got the legendary status.
But is it a big risk getting rid of Ollie and bringing in Pochettino? I'm not saying I'm a fan of Ollie, but I'm saying if they're going to get rid of Ollie, they have to bring in an established manager.
Yeah, I think what Ollie brings to him, like I said not too long ago, is a stability factor, and because he's a club legend, it buys
Yeah.
him a bit more time.
Hmm.
But football, even more so nowadays, results business, that can only hold him for so long. If he doesn't produce the results and United don't finish where United should be finishing, Ollie will go. But I think for stability and the fact that he hasn't been in around it for so, the fact that they've had a change of managers for the last couple of seasons,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of chopping and changing, players coming in, coming and going, I think they'll keep Ollie for now.
Okay, so what? Are you Ollie in or Ollie out then?
Ollie in.
I will leave that as that.